Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Friday, the 23rd of February. Following McShane, we read Job chapter 23 today. Job responds to his friends who've given him wise advice and encouragement, or as it turns out, bad theology and discouragement, as is so often the case. But in chapter 23, Job responds, and we're told, "Then Job replied, 'Even today my complaint is bitter. His hand is heavy in spite of my groaning. If only I knew where to find him. If only I could go to his dwelling.'" And as I read that, I thought, here is Job in the midst of his life that's fallen apart, gone completely wrong. And he's essentially saying, where is God? I'm in this place where I want to engage with God, but where is he? God has abandoned me. I can't even get to him. I can't even ask him questions because I don't know where God is. And I thought, I'm quite sure that there are many people today who feel exactly the same thing in situations where life has gone awry, things have been turned upside down, and we have all the good news that people share, and we have so many televangelists and things saying that as Christians, everything's going to be wonderful for you. And when the wheels come off, you end up thinking, well, where is God? Is God even with me? I can't see him. I can't hear him. I feel abandoned by God. And some people say, oh, you mustn't say that because that's completely wrong. That's not the way Christians speak. But I think we can read through Job and we can echo Job and say sometimes we would feel like Job does. And we've got it in the scripture, so we can we can just quote the scripture and say, if only I knew where to find him. If only I could go to his dwelling. And that's just quoting scripture. And we need to remember that God knows what's in our hearts. He knows a word before it's on our lips. We'd say things like that, and maybe our friends would be surprised and shocked. And, oh, I didn't know you thought that way. How can you think that? But we mustn't think that God will do that. I mean, God doesn't hear people saying, where is God? And say, oh, I didn't know that person was thinking that. Why did they say that? God knows exactly what we're thinking all the time. He knows what's going on inside of us. He knows where our hearts are. He knows what we're wrestling with, and he knows our complaints that we have against him when we've got them. And therefore we can speak them out, because I think it's good for us to be honest with God. Far better to be honest with God and keep pursuing him, as Job did. Keep saying, where is he? I'm looking for him. I want to ask him. I've got these questions. Where's my accuser? Let me go to court with him. I want to speak to God. Better that we engage like that than pretend, oh, I'm not going to question God. I believe in God. And what that does is just slowly waters down and sinks our faith. So be encouraged to be honest with God no matter what's going on. And also be challenged not to be shocked when other people are being honest with God, but to just get alongside and encourage and say, I can't understand, but I'm with you. We avoid being like Job's comforters who try and give advice, because that never works. But we just get alongside. When you weep, I'll weep with you. That's our response. So encourage people to be honest with God, because that is the only way we're going to actually find real answers to our situation. Be encouraged and know that we're blessed.